Good morning. Happy Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 495. I'm repping Chicago today. I've got my Cubs hat on, praying for baseball to come together, owners and players, end this stupid lockout. Let's get to spring training. Let's get the season underway. Well, spring training underway so we can start on time. And since it's Super Bowl Sunday, as all Chicago Bears fans, we live vicariously through all of the other teams since the 1985 season, the 1986 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 20. For a while, like every Super Bowl Sunday, I would play the Super Bowl 20 broadcast. You can find it on YouTube instead of the pregame festivities. But I've actually kind of enjoyed watching the 8-hour pregame show of the Super Bowl. Like every channel has their own pregame show. And I know it's overkill for many, but I kind of enjoy it because I don't like consume it, like watch it. It's background, it's noise for me, but it's good noise. Like I just like having that on in the background. So I'll be working downstairs all day and I'll have the pregame stuff maybe on my computer as I'm packing stuff up, shipping out. Maybe I'll toss out the Super Bowl 20 broadcast on YouTube because it has been a couple years since I've watched it. Uncle Rich is with us. Good morning, Uncle Rich. Zach, good morning to you. Rich usually watches the Super Bowl 25 replay. That's a great one. Giants Bills, the missed Scott Norwood field goal, and I believe was that the Whitney Houston national anthem. I think that was the Whitney Houston anthem as well. That was like for me the golden era of Super Bowl era. My first Super Bowl memory is of Super Bowl 20 is my first like memory, but my first like where I actually knew what was going on because I was just a little tyke for Super Bowl 20, but Super Bowl 23. Bengals 49ers, that was like my real Super Bowl memory where, I remember watching the Bud Bowl commercials and the Icky Shuffle. Joe Montana, my favorite child. And then you had the great Super Bowl that Rich mentions, Giants and Bills. So those are like my early memories of like really watching Super Bowls. Zach says Porter and I've watched it a few times on YouTube. So crazy how many calls they missed without replay. It is. It's insane. Yes to Whitney, greatest national anthem. My first Super Bowl memory is Super Bowl 2. That would have been Packers. Who did the Packers play in 2? Was it Packers Chiefs in Super Bowl 1? I'm trying to think. Was it Raiders? I can't remember Super Bowl 2. I used to know all the Super Bowl trivia because of the old Pro Set Super Bowl cards. They had the 89 Pro Set had the Super Bowl, in Roman numerals, like it was. So XV or XXV for 2025. I guess that came on later because 89 predated 25. But Super Bowl XX for Raiders. Okay, Raiders and Packers. And then, of course, the Super Bowl MVP, insert or subsets. Can't remember which one that was. So Pro Set did some awesome Super Bowl card sets. And that was where I knew, like I learned a lot of my Super Bowl trivia was through the Pro Set cards. Super Bowl Sunday, I'm stoked. I don't have any, I think I actually sold the last remaining Rams apparel I had because I've talked about this. I've been a Rams fan throughout, just based on my neighbor was a diehard Rams fan, still is. My old neighbor growing up, and then when the Rams moved to St. Louis, they started training camp in at Western Illinois, which later became my alma mater. But since it was less than 2-hour drive from my hometown, we would go to Macomb to watch the Rams training camp. And I became a Rams fan, St. Louis Rams. And then when I went to Western, I worked in radio. I covered the Rams during training camp, day in, day out. I went to morning practice after my morning show, and then I went to the afternoon practice. And so I, just kind of really followed the Rams, but they moved back to LA and, things change. I like a good underdog story. Go Bengals. I'm rooting for the Bengals. My last piece of Rams apparel that I had, and I think I sold it recently on eBay, was an Eddie Kennison Rams jersey. He was my favorite Rams player in the late 90s, wide receiver, and later played for the Bears. I was excited. I was always number one a Bears fan, but Rams were my close number two for a while. Let's see. Rich says, I've won Super Bowl trivia at our synagogue when we used to have bigger super. Awesome. And without cheating on the phone. Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be in trivia nights, there seems to be those sneaky cell phone. What I don't like now is I don't play trivia regularly now, bar trivia, because the COVID stuff, and it's just tough. A lot of my trivia teammates have kids, so it's hard for them to get out, but we still play on occasion. And what I don't like now is the trivia is like all done like for germs and stuff. They don't have, usually they give you a paper and you walk back and forth each question. You answer, you write it down on a slip of paper and take it up to the host. Well, now with COVID, they don't do that. And now it's all on your phone. So now one person always has to have their phone out, and you just enter it into the trivia. I don't like that, because now it just opens up to, now it's easy for teams to cheat. So you point out the cheaters, like it's pretty easy to spot, even a crowded bar trivia. You can get a good idea at who might be sneaking a look on Google or the internet. So Northern Illinois Card Show was yesterday. Another great show. It was a roller coaster of emotions for me, both good and bad. So, and I always talk about this, and me and one of the promoters, John, we talk about, we go up to the, when we're talking to the dealers at the end of our shows, like, hey, how'd you do today? And typically it's kind of like when you came home from school and your parents asked you, how was school today? And oh, it was fine. It was good. It was okay. And it's just, it really wasn't like, using those words, it's like, gives you no insight into actually what's going through your mind. You kind of talk about it, so it's fine, and move on. So most dealers, that the answer is just kind of, oh, it was okay. And you can kind of judge their feelings, whether they say it was okay or it was okay. So if it was it was okay, that means they were disappointed with their sales. If it was okay, a little more perky, then they probably did as good as they thought. Or, but here's what I think. Here's how and this is, everybody thinks differently. Everybody has different, mindsets. So my take on going into a show, I have a number. We all have numbers going, if we set up as a dealer and a card show. We have a number in mind, like, this is my goal for sales. Usually we overshoot it. I've done in the last actually only year. I just started doing shows again last March, April. So maybe 20, 25 shows. And out of 20, 25 shows in the last year, I always seem to overshoot my expectations, and I always hope for the best. Let's sell a couple of these quarter boxes, sell them outright. I'm going to sell some supplies. Somebody's going to come along and sit at my table all day and spend $200 in dollar and quarter cards. And it never happens. But every month, every 2 weeks, when I set up a show, I think this is going to be the day. And so far, that day doesn't come. I go into it and I have this number, and even I think what I did was, I think my show in Madison last month had a great show, but it was like, how can I make it better? It's like, once you get to that number, you surpass that number. It's like, now I need to make more sales. How can I make more sales? And then you have a new number in your head, but you don't reach that new number. So you kind of, it was okay. So it's, even if you hit your target, you want to hit more. That's how my mind works. What do you call it? It was basically a pending a physical of the Mike Trout rookie card. And you can you may have seen the video already. It's on my YouTube channel. I published it last night. An update on the Mike Trout rookie. So I'll just rehash it quickly here. Had a deal in place. The Mike Trout rookie. I had 3 initial people express interest right off the bat, so I gave them first right to refusal, right of refusal. Anyway, that's what I did. And I had a number. Gave them my number. Each of the 3. We were pretty close. And it's like, I'm not in a rush to sell. Like, I don't need to sell it, especially now. There's a lockout. It's the off season. Like, I can wait. But it would be nice to just cash it out and boom, the whole Goodwill collection is paid for and everything I've sold on eBay is just gravy and future sales. So, went to the first one. I'll think about it. Go to the second one. I'll think about it. He gave me a number. I gave him a number. He gave me a counter. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not in a rush to sell. I'll bring it to Rockford to the card show. And you can take a look there and we can negotiate there. Third guy also going to be in Rockford. And same thing. He actually gave me a number first. And, I said, well, this is the number. I've got another guy ahead of you. So I'll work with him. And if anything falls through, I'll let you know. So forward, my second guy, he's there. My second and third guy. Second guy comes up, looking it over. He's like, wow, this is nice. The cards are good. It's clean. It's nicely centered. All of a sudden gets to the middle of the card. Uh-oh, there's a dimple. It was in the top left corner of that binder page. Now, when I found it, when I got it from Goodwill, it was not in a binder. It was in a loose binder page, but that page at one time had been in a binder. There's a binder dimple in the I can't see it. I still can't see it. Like, I brought it home before I did the last night. I'm like angling it, putting in the light. I can't see it. I have crappy eyes. That's why I wear glasses. When people ask me, do you think it'll grade X or Y? I don't know. I don't have the vision for grading. That's why I don't grade. So I don't see these things. So it's like, here's some close pictures. If it's, if we're in person here, just look at the card, and you tell me, because I don't know. I'm selling it raw. Here's the raw comps. I'm going to sell it at a raw price, regardless if it's going to grade a 10 or a 5. It's going to get raw comps, and you be the judge of whether or not you want the deal. So looks it over. It's got this dimple, kills the deal, doesn't want it, which is cool. I get it. I can't see it. But you can feel it. Like, you can feel, oh man, this is bad. Which is weird. You can feel it, but can't see it. But anyway, so I go to number 3 in line, and he gave me the number first, and I said, I got good news, I got bad news. Good news is card's still available. Bad news is there's a dimple, but hey, good news, I'm gonna drop the price from your first offer to X amount. And he's like, I'll think about it. I'll look at comps. So he turned it down. I offered it up to a couple other dealers. One had expressed interest, a graded copy. I said, hey, you can have it for this price. This is what I offered the others. And he's like, nah. But he told me he's like, this could get an 8 even with that dimple. He's like, probably looking at a 7, but it might get an 8. So and then another dealer that was next to the one guy, I just, offered it up. He was not interested. So now it's to the point where I've actually had, since the video went, my DMs blew up last night, and I've got a lot of people inquiring about the Trout rookie. So I've told everybody I'm holding it now. I'm just going to hold it until the season starts. Fingers crossed that the season starts on time. And Trout starts out playing well, and maybe that price rises even with the dimple, the divot, whatever you call it. Even with that, it goes up in price. So I'm holding it. I'm in no rush to sell. But if somebody extends me an offer that I like, I'm not going to give you a number. But if somebody gives me a number, and if it's a number I like, I will accept. If it's a number that I don't like, I'm just going to say I'm going to hold it until the season. So that's how we're going to work it. So if anybody watching has interest, um, you shoot me a number and I'll tell you yes or no, basically. Rich says, had to stop listening for a minute. Neighboring office here is retiring. Just gave me a fridge. How about that for a go away present? That's awesome. A fridge for the office. Zach says, smart hold. I think it's Mike Trout. It's an iconic card. I think the I think it's not peaked, but and we actually had this with one of the other dealers. He's like, I have a picture of a show I did in 2016, and he's like, I've got a row of Trout rookies. He's got 5 or 6 base cards. He had it wasn't the one of one, whatever the diamond. He had a couple of those and just like a gold. And he's like, I had $100 on the base cards, and it's like, yeah, who would at that time it was a base card. Like, who would have thought? It's like, this is the cap. $100 for a base rookie card from Topps Update. There's no way it's going to go higher than $100. And well, here we are. And it actually went even higher, in the last year. And then the prices have kind of dropped, over the last 8 months or so. So that's the plan. Diego says, I was like, even with a divot, I was like, I still don't have a chance. What's up, Diego? So that's how my morning started. Like, that was like before the doors. Oh, well, the doors had just opened. Initially, first hour, my traffic was kind of slow at my table. Reviewing the Northern Illinois card show, Rockford, Illinois, yesterday. So the Trout sale fell through, but I still had, like, that kind of ruined my day. Like, I thought I was getting, I thought I was going to be starting my day with X amount, and it's like, then I had hopes to reach another, like, here's my target. This is where I want to get to. So it was kind of like, now in the end, and I'll get to the end, I still did really well considering. I did really well. Didn't get to that number I wanted, but I got 65% of that number while bringing home a Mike Trout rookie card. I 9 less monster boxes of 25-cent cards. So all in all, hopefully I'm not skipping because I've got that connection unstable message. Usually when I start waving my hands, that's when the connection goes unstable. I noticed that months ago when I would like point at the camera or like move the camera, I would get that. So I've got like this narrow, but Jason, thank you to Jason. He showed me this, and Jason, if you're watching, shoot me that link to the booster thing. So it's like a booster where you plug it in to your router and then you plug it in downstairs. So he thinks that will work for me. So if you have that, if you're watching, if Jason's watching, shoot me that link because I'm gonna pull the trigger on that thing. OG, what's up? Good morning to you. Rise and shine. Sunday. So morning started off a little slow, and probably because I was bummed that my Trout rookie had a divot in the card. So, but throughout the day, we had great traffic. This was the biggest show to date for Rockford. They opened up like the side hallway room, which has a concession stand. So it really gives, so just kind of give you the lay of the land. So it's in a church gymnasium. So everything formerly up until yesterday's show was held in the gymnasium, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And so they were finally able to work out a deal with the church to open up that hallway and have the concession stand open. And so the entrance, that was kind of like a closed off area before. I think it wasn't closed off. Like, I think there's restrooms there that you could use, but it wasn't a part of the show. So the main entrance was the gymnasium doors, load in, coming through. Entrance was in that side room. So even though you were in like the hallway, kind of like the Madison show, where even though it's the hallway spot, people still walk right by the hallway. So it's not like in a side. It's not like